You want to do a podcast about films.
You're not stopping me.
No, with me, you fool.
Oh, well then why didn't I say that?
You did. You are.
Well, I can't say films. I need to say movies. It's a more broadly recognised term.
Yeah, don't worry about that now. Am I interested?
Well, we can't just talk about films we don't like. That would be boring.
Okay, what about films we like?
That sounds even more boring.
How about this? Films we disagree on.
All right, intriguing. So what? One of us dislikes the film, the other one doesn't, and we discuss our opinions?
You think I'm in movie?
Yeah, don't worry about that now.
But yeah, that's the gist of it.
Okay, you're in.
Great.
Could still be boring, though.
I'm boring.
Well, you don't see how that's relevant.
Should we do one now?
Hello and welcome to Movie the Needle, a podcast where two complete amateurs haphazardly dissect a film that one of us likes and one, well, not so much. My name's Simon and I'm in our shed with my good friend Carl, and we'll be explaining our opposing viewpoints and seeing whether we can movie the needle for one another. This week we're discussing the 2008 dark comedy which follows hitman Ray and his partner Ken, who after a job gone wrong are awaiting orders from their ruthless boss in Bruges, Belgium, the last place in the world Ray wants to be. Manky hookers and racist dwarfs ensue. It's In Bruges! I'm thirsty, Carl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we said we were going to be a bit more conservative with our consumption today after
2 days
ago. A 4.5 hour recording / drinking session.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if it's like Pavlov's dog thing. You know, walk in the shed.
That's right.
Get thirsty.
Yeah.
Because what's the phrase? My mouth feels like the bottom of a bird cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you've had a cockatoo in there.
Hey!
Well, actually, I've got what I thought was going to be bad news because we did say this morning, let's just have the one beer tonight.
Yeah.
So I thought this was going to be bad news, but I've sourced a beer, and then the wife's come through the door and gone, I've got you this. And she's picked us up a podcast beer.
She's getting involved.
She's
getting involved. She can't know. She'll be listening next.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a slippery slope.
And she even got somebody in the shop to help her out.
Did she give him a card?
No, but she told them, it's for a podcast. She gave them didn't tell them the name of the podcast.
Does she know the name?
But somebody else out there now knows there's another movie podcast out there. So
excellent.
I guess that's some progress.
Had Emma on the case as well. She was at Leeds Uni today handing out cards.
Oh, nice.
Trying to lower down our average age from 40.
Yeah. I think we could get away with pulling the wool over uni students' eyes as well, I think. Yeah.
That's fine.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's not fuck about then. Let's get a beer.
Let's do it. While you do it there, I do have a game for you. I didn't have a game for you until about 5 minutes ago when I realised on the walk over here that I didn't have a game, so I had to think of a game. But you'll be pleased to know, Carl, it's a return of Dead or Alive.
Oh, Christ.
Who are we going to kill next? Okay. Tune in to find out.
Right, this is the beer that I sourced. I'll go
right.
with this first, right? Okay. So, one gay beer for my gay friend.
Yes, there we go. I was going to use that for like the outro. I was like, you're bound to say this first, so there we go. So it's a Leffe blonde, subtle notes of vanilla and cloves. I mean, I don't want cloves in my beer, sorry. I hope it's very subtle. I've had Leffe before. Don't get me wrong. Thank you.
So did you know that there are two pronunciations of this beer?
Correct and incorrect?
No. Two acceptable pronunciations of this beer.
Okay.
Neither of which are what you just said.
Right, bro. Go on then. Educate me. That's why I'm here.
You've got two groups of people in Belgium. Apparently they fucking hate each other as well. So I read. French-speaking and Flemish-speaking.
Yeah.
So French-speaking.
Yep.
Lef.
What they do.
And I believe
is it like Luffy or something?
The more common pronunciation in bars
Lef.
over here. Lef, yeah. The Flemish is Leffe.
Leffe.
Yeah, not
Leffe. I mean, it was definitely not Leffe because there's no accent.
No.
So that was definitely wrong.
Yeah, so Leffe. Leffe or Lef.
I'm going to go for Leffe. Sounds more exotic.
Well, Leffe, the abbey where this was originally brewed, is in the French-speaking. No, it's in the French-speaking part of.
So I'm definitely going to Leffe then.
Yes, yeah. So there you go.
Like
One
Tom said,
gay beer for my
French.
gay friend. I'm not looking forward to this because I do not like Belgian yeasty esters.
Well, it's good because you only got the 500ml bottle. So
Oh Christ, is that what it is?
can I have the opener?
Yes, just wait.
Well,
just wait.
yeah, I'm just saying, like, open, pass me the opener, then pour. That might have been a good order to do that in. Anyway, Carl, anything going on in your life since 2 days ago?
Well, you should have seen the size of the feckin' spider I had to get out of here before you.
Oh, thank Christ you did that. We wouldn't have been able to record.
Before you came. Well, I had to get rid of it as well because there was question marks as to whether all three of us would have been able to fit in. It was absolutely hench.
It's my shit now.
This is it. I made sure to call it Sir, so it didn't chin me. As I quietly ushered it out the door.
Where do you stand on spiders?
Yeah.
Considering we live in England, and so
I'm not.
any spiders
not.
here are not deadly.
No. Well, there is a deadly spider in this country, I think. False widow.
Sure. I've never seen it.
No, me neither.
I don't think you tend to hear of people dying from the whole spiders.
We
I'm
do
more
also
likely to
have,
die by recoiling in horror and then hitting my head on something and getting killed or falling down the stairs or something.
Oh yeah. Many other ways to go. I mean, alcohol poisoning is far ahead as well on the list of likely.
Not that related to spiders, but yeah.
Well, no, but like in terms of what's going to get you.
I'm so scared by the spider. I went on a drinking binge for 15 years.
We do also have like something
Damn you,
like
spiders.
6 of the 10 deadliest snakes in the world here as well.
Do we?
Yeah.
They just hide well.
But yeah, well, this is it. You just never see them. I know this because when we were on holiday, we had went to like a little bit of a show by this guy who brought animals for the kids, and that told them all about it.
Sure.
His show was called Mark's Ark.
Mark's Ark?
Yeah, because obviously he was called Mark. But I think he missed a trick by not going for Safari Mark.
Safari
I
Mark?
quite like that.
Yeah. Or just Mark.
Just Mark.
Yeah, but with the...
You put that on a poster.
Yeah.
Mark. And on Wednesday, it's Mark. Oh, yeah? What's he do then?
Yeah, it doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, so that's about it, mate. Spider riddance.
Good stuff. Yeah, I've not really got too much. I have, however, watched a film.
No, you haven't.
I fucking have.
You've done...
Because we were chatting this morning.
Yeah, you've
We were
got
going
it. You've only got
obviously we've
done
not
it,
watched a
haven't you?
film. I was like, well, we could watch a short, So I did. I watched a short. Now, I don't know if watching a short is a bit... we both...
Oh, the amount of times you bollock me, not featuring, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So Untapped, right? When you record your beers and you've got like the taster option.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think this is quite equivalent, right? Because it's not like we're watching a trailer and counting it as having watched the film.
Yeah.
But does it count if we were going like on number of movies watched? Shorts, are they counting? Short films.
If it's on Letterboxd,
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
You're good to go. Yeah.
Cool. So it's related to this film as well because it's Six Shooter
All right.
by the same director that did this. So I only need to watch one more of his films, and I've watched all of them now. So
Any good?
that's good. It was actually, yeah. It's amazing. I do find it in a short where they actually tell a whole story
Oh, it's incredible.
in a short period. Like,
Yeah.
how do you do this?
It's incredible. I mean, it goes without saying, not something I'd be able to do.
30 hours, mate.
But it's really incredible. There's that Ernest Hemingway anecdote as well, where he's supposedly in the bar and slides over a piece of paper to someone he's talking to. It says, complete short story in 6 words. There's a for sale, baby shoes, never worn. Which is just like, oh yeah. Again, I couldn't do that. I couldn't even do that. All right, so there's a baby that's died. Oh shit, that's already more than. Yeah.
I was watching. I saw some other clip of basically it was.
This isn't bad, by the way. This left.
Famous. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Famous writer. I can't remember who it was now, but he was doing like a lecture basically.
Yeah.
He was like, "This is how you tell whether you've got a good story or not." Right? You sit down with someone at a bar, you tell them the first 2/3 of it, then you go away, and then when you come back, you just start talking about something else, and you see if they.
Yeah. So what happened?
Exactly. If they follow up and want you to finish. If they don't, shit. If they do, you might have something.
I mean, that sounds
Or
like
you're just talking to a very lonely man.
Yeah, that sounds like the kind of pithy anecdote that sounds good, but is actually not that useful in too many variables. But still, I like the sentiment of it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So anyway, Six Shooter has old Brendan Gleeson in it
Oh, yeah.
as well. He's very, very good in it. But yeah, very entertaining. 28
How long
minutes.
is it? 28 minutes? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, fit it in my lunchtime.
Yeah.
Yep, 28 minutes. That's how long I take for lunch.
Yeah. Did you watch it on your phone?
I did not. I watched it on the
So
TV.
you went on the toilet then?
No. No. That even for me, that would be pushing it.
Yeah.
Not
Not that sort of pushing.
No.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah.
Do yourself a mischief.
Indeed.
Pushing for that
Indeed.
long.
Did you watch any movies then? No?
I have not.
No. What have you been doing?
Yes, I know.
You have watched this movie.
I've watched this movie.
Yeah, so I mean,
I
you
watched
have
that last night.
You have watched a movie in the last night.
Yeah.
So that's good. Before we move on to the film, I think we've got a couple of apologies, don't we, from our last episode? Mr. Salmon.
Yeah, Colin Salmon.
Yeah, couldn't think of his name, could we?
Yeah, unfortunately, just referred to him as the black guy from
That was unfortunate.
James Bond's staff.
Yeah, I like
Or
Colin
end
Salmon as
staff,
well.
rather. Yeah.
What was his actual character? Did we look
Oh,
up?
to be in fairness, I also called him the black guy from Resident Evil as well. So, yeah, he's the deputy chief of staff.
Deputy, so he's like Tanner's understudy.
That's right. He's Tanner's understudy. And he is very good, Colin Salmon.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So apologies, Colin. And there's also another apology that you made a note that we should have called out when we were recording the podcast.
I know, it seems ridiculous now.
Well, especially as it's going to be like 3 weeks after his actual birthday.
Well, that's true. It wouldn't have come out anyway. But on the day we were recording Quantum of Solace and our James Bond special, it would have been Roger Moore's birthday. Obviously, he's been dead for 6 years.
Yeah. You don't tend to celebrate birthdays after they've died, do you?
No, but we just forgot, didn't we? Sorry, Rog.
Yeah. If we were clever, what we'd be doing is figuring out when these podcasts are coming out, right? And then that's when we'll be talking about things. So, well, today, thinking it's coming out in 2 weeks' time, right, or a week's time, this is what's happening on this day. But we're not smart enough for that. And plus, if people don't listen to it on the day it's released, it's still out of date, so it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, it doesn't.
There we go. Carl, you've unveiled the ale already. What are you making of it now? Still on?
It's mercifully mild.
Not getting any cloves either.
No, I'm not getting any cloves. I'm only getting a bit of banana, which is something else I don't like in my beers. So, yeah, it's all right. It's all right.
All right, let's move on.
Well, I actually do have one more apology.
All right, let's not move on then.
Which was to my friend that I watched the film with last night.
Oh, yeah.
For giving him a bit of a grilling on the whistle as the film went. And then repeatedly telling him his notes were meaningless twaddle. Talking in platitudes. So he knows who he is. Sorry, mate.
I mean, he's not saying he won't do it again.
Oh, God, no. No.
But you'll just apologise again.
Yeah, don't try and change me.
All right, let's move on to the film In Bruges. But, of course, before we actually get to the movie, a quick reminder of our simple 5-point scale as we rate these. So you either really like it, you're ambivalent, you don't like it, or you really don't like it. So, Carl, where are you?
I don't like it.
You don't like it? Okay. I really like it. So that's how many points on the old of disagreement?
3 degrees.
3 degrees of disagreement. There we go. So, Carl, what don't you like?
Tangled coat hangers.
Oh, mate. Honestly.
If there's anything more frustrating than tangled coat hangers, I don't know what it is.
Right. And it's probably one of the things that happens the most in your life as well. It's just constant.
Just awful.
I'm with you. I am with you there. And the movie?
I don't like this film because I found nothing to like. And then there's some hype around it, specifically about how funny it is, that irks me. Now, I don't want to break the format, but if we are going to maybe rule that out as unfair on the film, because that's a rather more sort of...
Subjective.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's not really
it's all
directly about the
subjective,
film, and, you know... If we were to ignore that, there may actually be the most easily ambivalent in the offing here.
Right, she literally has no feelings about it.
Yeah, but, you know, we'll see. But one thing I'm curious to discuss is why you like it. Because I don't think it is very funny. I thought it was mostly just a bit sad.
Oh, Okay. Well, why I really like it, remember, is that I feel it has a little bit of everything, right? So we've talked a bit about dark comedies before, where I haven't really got them. And this is a dark comedy, and I think it is a legitimate dark comedy that I actually found really funny. But I also think that its dark moments are pretty fucking dark too. I think there's some genuinely touching moments in there. There's actually some tension with like the climax and at points throughout it. And at 1 hour 47 breezes by. So I thought it was pretty great. Okay, moving swiftly onto the... We'll be out of here in an hour, Carl, at this rate. Jeez, what's going on?
Bash bosh.
Bish, bash, bosh. That's what we should call this podcast? No, that'd be bad. Onto the cast. So, who do you want to start with?
Well, I've only done notes for 3.
Okay.
Let me give you my headlines for the 3, and then you tell me which one you want to discuss in a bit more detail. So, I've got Gleeson as Ken.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Farrell as Ray. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Right.
And then
Not
Fiennes,
yes, sir.
And then Fiennes as Harry. No.
Oh, really? Not liking a Fiennes as Harry? Okay, well, we'll start with the yeses, and we'll go on to the no. Let's start with Ray, Colin Farrell. So he was a yes, sir. So we'll start at the top and go down, basically, is what I'm saying with this for you. All right, so...
I think it's a fairly uncontroversial take that he's the best in this film.
He's very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got some issues with what he's been asked to do, but in terms of his delivery of it, he's totally believable in some of the darker moments. You can completely buy that his sort of exasperation and frustration at being in Bruges and having no time at all for the sort of the touristy side of things, and all the rest of it. So yeah, I thought he was very good.
Yeah, I thought he had. I was going to say it's not exactly range because it's very much between kind of two.
I mean, there's a real sneaking suspicion he might be playing exactly himself as well, right?
Possibly, but it's basically two like main versions of this character that he cycles through. So the pissed off, hateful gobshite, and then like the damaged soul teetering on the edge and trying to deal with what he's done. But I thought he had fantastic comic timing throughout this as well, and was actually able to show a real vulnerability in those other moments as well, because his character is an actual child at times, which could have got really wearing. I thought, like if not done, which you may have found it wearing, but I didn't find that, and I think that's a lot to do with him and the charisma that he's bringing to that, and the fact that he's making it so thoroughly watchable.
I mean, charisma is a great word. He really has got bags of charisma.
What about Kenneth? Brendan Gleeson?
I mean, so he's going through some of the similar stuff, but he's maybe a little less outlandish and a little more reserved.
Definitely.
But again, he was pretty decent, totally believable in everything that he's been asked to do.
Yeah, I think he's great in this, and I love him generally as an actor. Like, he kind of seemed to transition from proper, like, sort of not background but tertiary character in things where he just kind of appears for a little bit. But he's kind of seems to have developed into maybe not quite a lead, but at least like a secondary kind of character, or a main secondary character, if you can have such a thing.
It's kind of funny. There's a link here. So he's not a good-looking man. He's very much a real and normal-looking guy, right? He's not Hollywood good-looking.
No.
And funnily enough, he is exactly the sort of actor that would have got the Penguin gig that Farrell got made up to do.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I mean, there was a bit of chat around that at the time. Like, so why is Colin Farrell? Why are there no other actors that don't need all of that stuff? And actually, Brendan Gleeson would have been one. He already kind of looks like that.
He's like 70 years old now.
Yeah, he's been around for a fair old while, hasn't he?
Getting on. But no, he's managed to produce a fine-looking son. Well done, as well. You know, I think he's a handsome chap, Donald. No,
No, he's a bit goofy.
Oh, yeah. still would.
Well, that's got nothing to do with it. The bar is very, very low.
Fair point. But yeah, I think he does a really good 1-2 double act. 1-2 double act? You don't need both of those. He makes a really good 1-2 or a really good double act with Farrell in this as well, playing off him quite nicely. Okay, go on to Rafe then.
I do not buy him at all in this. His wide boy accent slips on multiple occasions. I do not believe that he is this sort of gangster. He's got a really narrow range, finds, right? Really, really narrow range. And this is outside of it. I just don't believe he can sort of rough it up at all. Don't buy him as anything but hoity-toity, fucking... I don't know what the phrase I'm searching for is. Something up his arse. What would you say? Like, I don't know. There is a phrase.
Stick up his arse.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I cannot get past that at all. And they were so deliberate here because you don't see him until later. You just hear the voice. And obviously he's putting on an accent that's not his own. Yeah. So I feel like they wanted to go, oh, it's Ray Fiennes. You weren't expecting that. Oh, that's fun, isn't it? And it's like, all right, that's why the accent keeps slipping then, because it's not his accent.
I noticed the accent slipping. But yeah, I mean, he definitely has a type. I think it's a bit harsh to say that he's not. He's got a narrow range, or he's not versatile in what he does. You think of the Grand Budapest Hotel and being able to put in that performance along with some of the more dramatic things. So I think he's got the sort of comedy chops to him as well.
Yeah, but his is a straight role in Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, but he's doing, even in that straight role, in the timing of how he's doing things, it's for comic effect, no?
Well...
Like he's not a comedian in this. He's not intentionally a funny character, right?
Timing, maybe.
He brings humour.
I didn't buy him as this gangster at all.
He's having a lot of fun, though, isn't he?
What I will say is, well, yeah, but is he having a lot of fun? Again, I'm just looking at him going, oh, yeah, I can see this is Ray Fiennes trying to act here. What I can't see is a gangster called Harry. There is one great bit. He's seriously menacing, right?
Yeah.
So there's a bit where the robber puff, as they keep saying, stands up to him and gets in his face, and Harry just doesn't flinch.
Yeah.
And it's really cold. It's really good. But then the problem is he opens his mouth. It's like, oh, okay, we're back to this. Yeah. All right. He's a bit like Ben Kingsley. Yeah. I have no idea why Ben Kingsley has been cast in so many gangster things, because again, I don't buy it at all. He's like so obviously a Shakespearean actor, sort of well-to-do sort of guy, and I don't buy this sort of like this ridiculous mock London gangster thing.
You do struggle with class and seeing past class with actors. You say the same about Damon.
Yeah, because it's so obvious, right?
I don't know.
No, the thing is, class in Hollywood, James McAvoy talks really well on this, being from a working class background himself. So a lot of classes, well, the working classes, are really, really underrepresented in Hollywood, right? And in movies in general. And it shows in things like this, because it's like the same way that Denzel Washington talks about black actors for black roles, about how culturally, yes, you can put an actor in, and he could probably do it. He talks about black directors directing sort of, films set around those black experiences. So yeah, another director could do it, but that'd be their spin on it. There's a cultural difference of what they understand, and that comes across in the work. It's the same with actors, right? Some actors are good at it. I completely buy Leonardo DiCaprio, who's obviously not working class. He's come through the whole theatre school privilege background. Completely buy him. He's a good actor. It's outside of someone like Damon's range. It's outside of someone like Ray Fiennes' range, and it shows. There's nothing more complicated than that. It's just class happens to be the factor we're discussing here, but it could be skin colour and all the stuff that goes into that. It could be, you talk about, there's always a discussion around LGBT roles and things like that. Mm-hmm. So it's a question of, can they act well enough to bridge the the lack of experience that they have. And with Fiennes in this role, no, I don't think he can. I think it's outside of his range.
But you did get him as the menacing, unhinged
because
part of it.
Unhinged, no, I'm not sure. Cold, in that moment, when he's completely not bothered by the guy in his face, fantastic. Unhinged, over the top, no, I don't think so. I see him as cold and calculating, but that's not really what this character's needed to be a lot more colourful.
Hitting the shit out of the phone.
Silly, hammy, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he is like an unhinged...
And then
he's almost
you're in an hour and a half. Oh, Christ, yeah.
Oh, come on.
No, I just don't buy it. It looks like somebody putting on a performance, and that's not what you want. That's not believable to me.
You do see things differently, Carl. I'll give you that. Well, there we go. I thought his introduction on the phone, I really quite enjoyed. I thought it was fantastic. You got a real sense of that character he's quite extravagant in his way that he wants things and the way he's tried to do things, and has a very set way of things. I think he delivered that in such a way that came across very well. So yeah, I enjoyed him throughout in this. You got any of the women?
No, I only did those three.
You only did those three? Is that because you hate women?
We really have switched.
Yeah, so a quick mention to a couple more then. So Clemence Posey, no idea if that's how you say her name. There's lots of accents going on in there, and I can't.
Go on, give it a go.
There's an accent over the first E in Clemence.
Yeah. So what would you do with that?
Clemence.
Oh, so you've changed the second E, but not the one that the first.
No, I was
the
like Clemence.
All right, clear. All right, yeah, okay, right.
And then I have no idea with Posey, Poesy with an E. It's got a thingy accent.
Where's she from?
France.
You're not gonna give it a whirl?
I did Posey.
You did Posey. All right.
But I thought she brought some European cool, natural, effortlessly sexy without being like, I don't know, over the top gorgeous kind of thing. So she's brought an effortless sexiness.
You think she's not gorgeous?
No, I said she's not over the top gorgeous. Is what I said. And Jordan Prentice as Jimmy.
Is he the little
Dwarf.
guy?
Yeah. What do you think of him?
Yeah, it was all right. Just angry little man, wasn't he?
Yeah, pissed off little dwarf actor. It's good fun. Did you do any recasting?
Yes.
Oh, go on then. Hit me with your best shot.
So I've done
Let's start with
the
Rafe.
three. I've done the three.
Okay. Well, let's start with Rafe, because that's the one you took exception to.
Ray? No, Harry.
What did I say?
Ray.
I said Rafe.
Oh, Rafe. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. Rafe. Do you remember when he was called Ralph?
No. Well, I remember. No. No. He's always been Rafe Fiennes.
No, he was Ralph Fiennes for quite a while.
To my, as far as I can remember, he was
And
always
then
Rafe.
at some point,
And then I realised that it was spelt Ralph, and I was like, oh.
And at some point, he. I mean, he was probably always correcting people, to be fair. But at some point, it caught up, and people went, "Oh yeah, it's Rafe, then, is it?" Yeah. You ever known a Rafe?
No.
I've known a Ralph.
Did he call himself Rafe?
He called himself Ralph. Yeah.
Yeah.
Strange, isn't it?
I mean, you should just tell him his name's wrong, really, shouldn't you? I'm not really sure how you're getting an A sound from that, but...
Oh, don't get me started on... it's just where we didn't do Tobias Mingus last week.
Tobias Mingus?
Oh, he might actually not appear till Skyfall, Tobias Mingus. But Mingus, you familiar with the name Mingus? Menzies.
Oh, isn't there the politician?
Yeah, Mingus Campbell.
Yeah.
Ex-leader of the Lib Dems.
Yeah. But no.
Yeah, Mingus, there you go.
There we go.
Okay, so,
Rafe.
Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins.
Yeah.
Probably dead at that point.
I mean, he's definitely a bit older.
He's definitely dead now, right?
Is he actually dead now?
Isn't he?
I don't know. He's not in your game then, is he?
Let's play Dead or Alive. A little ad hoc. I'm pretty sure he's dead. Is he not dead?
Oh, yeah, he
Pretty sure
died in 2014.
Yeah. Oh, so he was still alive at the point of the film being made. So yeah, okay, he would.
Oh, good. Right, yeah. We don't have to have that. Would put a twist on it, wouldn't it? If he was coming to us from beyond the grave.
I don't know. I think he maybe be a bit small for this role.
A bit small.
Yeah, he's quite small.
Yeah, but his whole shtick was playing tough guy actors, gangsters, whatever. Anyway, okay, fair enough.
Not massively convinced. Go
on. Who do you want next?
Let's go for Ken.
All right, I've got a bit younger here.
Okay.
Paddy Considine.
Oh yeah, don't see enough of Considine. We talked about in Death of Stalin. He could definitely do more versatile. Can do everything. Can definitely do the comedy as well.
He'd do the comedy. He could do the sort of fatherly bit that comes out towards the end of the film. He's got grumpy. He's there.
Okay.
Ray. Mm-hmm. Jack O'Connell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good actor.
I watched him recently in the Amy Winehouse biopic.
Okay, I've not seen that.
Good in that. Yeah. I've not seen him in much else. He was the thing. What was the thing he was in? Like his breaking.
Fair bit of TV.
What was his big first film role?
This Is England.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what?
This Is England.
Am I thinking of the same person? Oh, Jack O'Connor. Yeah. He was in This Is England.
But that's clearly not the film you were thinking of. But that is his first film.
Was he young?
Yeah, he was very young.
Quite young in that.
Yeah,
I think I was thinking of maybe Unbroken, but let's have a look.
I've not seen
that. Unbroken, 2014. Oh, it wasn't his first one. 71. I think that was what I was thinking of. That was 2014 as well. Anyway, yeah, I like Jack O'Connell.
Yeah, he's good. I can see him doing the restless sort of angry bit. I think.
Yeah, I don't think that guy stands still much, does he?
No, not at all.
For sure. Cool. So, have you recast any of the other characters?
No, just those three.
Okay, well, do you want to play the game then, Carl?
I'd love to play the game.
Okay, then let's play Dead or Alive.
Bob Hoskins, dead.
Yeah. So, I did say he was short. He's not short enough for this game. So, on theme with the suicidal dwarfs, as the film goes on about, I've listed 5 famous dwarf actors. All you have to do is tell me whether they are dead or alive. No extra points for suicide. Okay?
No points for suicide?
No extra points.
Oh, no extra points. No.
Okay. Warwick Davis, star of Willow, Star Wars, Harry Potter.
Yeah. Don't remember anything in the news about him. So, let's say he's alive.
He is alive. Yep. Yes, for now. We'll see.
He is going to die.
Yes.
Obviously, there's a question of proximity to this podcast, but...
He's got a good 3 weeks to last. Come on, you can do it. Okay, David Rappaport from Time Bandits. So dwarf actor from Time Bandits.
What else has he been in?
I've no idea.
Oh, dear.
But if you're paying attention to the film that you watched yesterday...
Oh, is it him?
No, it's not him, but he was mentioned, the dwarf from Time Bandits.
Yeah, but I haven't seen Time Bandits. That wouldn't help.
No, I know. But he was mentioned in the film.
All right, okay. Well, then, are they talking about because he's blown his brains out or something, so he's dead then?
Yes, he's dead. Yeah. Yes, there we go. I should sound quite so excited about that.
Yeah, yes.
Yes, he's dead.
Well, we can't kill him if he's already dead.
That's true.
Let's look on the bright side.
Okay, Kenny Baker, Star Wars, played R2-D2.
Oh, one of the gay space robots from Star Wars. No, it's not gay space robots. It's just gay robots from Star Wars.
Yeah. Well, do you think R2 as well? I mean, obviously C-3PO.
No, that's just a Simpsons joke.
Oh, okay.
And the gay space robots from Star Wars, and they're getting introduced to something. So, I mean, there are a couple. Clearly, come on.
I just want to see how that works.
You just suggested.
Shove it in me
Maybe
port.
they might be
asexual.
Yeah. All right. So who's this?
Kenny
Star
Baker,
Wars.
R2-D2.
I mean, that's a long time, isn't it? And I imagine there's a series of health complications arise from such conditions. So let's say dead.
He is dead. Yes, unfortunately. Yeah. Peter Dinklage, Game of Thrones station agent.
And of course, he's in that. What was the one you made me watch? Death at a Funeral.
Oh yeah, he was in that.
He was in that as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I want to say that he's dead. Am I getting mixed up? Because Game of Thrones was quite recent, wasn't it? So no, he looked to me like he likes a bit of the hard stuff, likes to party hard. So let's say he's dead.
He is still alive.
Yeah, fair enough.
Actually, saying that, I didn't even check, but I'm pretty sure he's still alive.
Yeah.
I'll double check that. Pretty certain Peter Dinklage is alive, though. And then Jack Purvis, also from Time Bandits, but also in Brazil, Star Wars. He played the Chief Jawa, the little that was stealing the things.
Yeah. I've no idea. Let's go. He's dead.
He is dead. Yep. So 3 out of the 5 are dead, and maybe I'll just double check Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. Come on, I'm on a 5 out of 5 here. If Peter Dinklage is dead.
Okay, here we go. Peter Dinklage. I can't type. Oh no! I pressed enter too quick. Oh no! It's all gone wrong.
Come on,
I'm doing it one-handed. Right, I'll just put in
Full house here.
Dinklage. Oh, he's alive!
Never mind.
It's 58 though, so you
know. So he could.
Oh wait, no, 55.
He could let go at any moment. Is what you're saying.
But we obviously hope that he doesn't.
Yes, we do hope that he doesn't.
Okay, let's move on to production. But first, we'll unveil the second ale.
So this is from M&S.
Oh.
And this is the Belgian lager. The imaginatively titled Belgian lager. And
so is this the one
that my good lady wife picked up? She's like, I Bruges is in Belgium, isn't it? And she had to ask. Her phone had died.
She had to ask someone whether Bruges was in
the shop
Belgium.
whether Bruges is in Belgium, and he had to Google it as well. And then my youngest was then retelling me this story as well. Oh, Mummy had to ask a man in the shop whether the Bruges was in Belgium. She said, "Yeah, that was my new man, wasn't it?" I was like, well, you're clearly not picking him for his geography. He has to Google that. But, so there you go. Belgian lager. We'll wash away the clothes and vanilla.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Right. Anyway, this is directed by Martin McDonagh, who apparently is a different person to John Michael McDonagh, who I never actually realised, and just confused the two, conflated the two together as a single person.
Who's he, though?
His brother.
Oh, it is his brother.
Yeah. So he's done films such as The Guard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it, but I'm aware of it, yeah.
Brendan Gleeson, yeah, he's in it. So you can see how I'm getting confused.
Yeah.
Same sort of things.
Don Cheadle's in that as well, isn't he?
He's in that, yeah. Yeah, I quite enjoyed The Guard, I think. I can't really remember it. But his other films, so Six Shooter, the short, which I mentioned earlier. He's done Seven Psychopaths. Seen
Not
that?
seen it.
Not seen it.
Hang on. I think I have seen that, actually. Yeah. It's got Sam Rockwell, isn't it?
It does.
Yeah, I have seen it, yeah.
I mean,
Don't
you shouldn't have
remember
a
much
film
about
about
it,
Psychopath and not have Sam Rockwell.
No, that's true, yeah.
Born to play it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it as much as I was expecting. You know, you see the trailer for it, or you hear about it, you're like, oh yeah, I mean, this sounds right up my alley. But no, not quite as much as I hope. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri.
Not seen it.
Oh, it's fantastic. 5-star film. For me, I'm not writing 200 words about it. Though. Fuck off.
Well, then I'm afraid your score shall be booted off the site.
And then The Banshees of Inisherin. Seen that?
Yes.
You like that?
No, I feel about
seen
it in a very, very similar way to how I feel about this film.
Well, maybe you just don't like the director and his writing style. Because he's the writer for it as well.
Yeah. And of course, it's got these two in it as well.
It does. Who you like? Both of them.
Well, it was very, very hyped up on the marriage of these two coming back to the screen, and my feeling on that going into it was, yes, but In Bruges wasn't that funny, lads. Chill out. And then I watched that, and I felt very similar. I was like, there are some funny bits in it, but overall, I just thought it was a bit sad, much like this film. So,
All right, good stuff. So let's start with the script, Carl. Just generally, we're not talking about the plotting of the script, but just we're talking about the dialogue.
Well, I hope not. That would be plot, wouldn't it?
It would. I mean, we'll probably still talk about plot, let's face it. But that side of it, you keep saying that it comes across as a bit sad. This generally is that from the scripting, from the dialogue side of things, and what the actors are being asked to say and do.
I generally find it's quite dark. The story's quite sad. I think they're trying to alleviate that sadness through the constant ridiculousness, right? Because it's very over the top in places. Quirky. Maybe quirky's not quite the right way of putting it. But I mean, how much of that is down to the script, mate? I don't know what I'm talking about. Like,
just pretend.
You've asked me a technical question.
I did love it.
I have a loose grasp on some things. I have no fucking idea on other things.
Okay, I guess more specifically...
And I'll thank you not to dig too deeply into them.
More specifically, I guess I was just asking, in terms of the dialogue, because it's obviously a huge part of the film that people really appreciate and like. There's a lot of lines, quotable lines, and funny dialogue that people find funny. I'm guessing you did not necessarily find that.
So I definitely laughed at some of the bits, right? Not dead inside. I think there was an over-reliance on swearing as a punchline. Obviously, no problem with swearing.
No.
And it definitely adds to jokes as emphasis. You can use swearing as a punchline, not all the time, because it wears out. And I think there's a bit of an over-reliance.
You've been consistent with this. You've mentioned this in another film. I can't remember which one. Maybe Wolf of Wall Street?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
In a similar thing, remember we played the game Play Your Fucks, right?
Yes.
Not a game, but similar. How many fucks do you reckon are said in this 107 minutes that we've got here?
I would say slightly more than cunts.
I haven't got that. No cunts on this laptop.
How many? Oh, well, there were like, wasn't there something like 300 in Wolf of Wall Street or something?
That's
like
a lot longer.
Yeah, it's not up there. Let's say 100.
126.
Yeah.
So 1.18 fucks per minute.
Yes, it's a
The
healthy
old
rate.
FPM.
Yeah, it's a healthy rate, isn't it? So yes, there were some bits which I'll maybe call out in a bit later. Maybe you've got some as well. There were some bits I did laugh at. The general tone of it was a bit like a bit one joke, if you know what I mean. It was a bit the same thing over and over. So I did find it wore a bit thin.
So I thought the script generally was very cleverly written. I'm not going to go into plot points here, but the fact that he worked in frequent callbacks to things just as simple as with the overweight American interaction outside the
Tower
thing.
Yeah.
And then just the throwaway thing, like, no, the tower's closed. American had a heart attack earlier today, so the tower's closed. Just a light little throwaway there. The little callback again to the karate and being armed with a bottle when they're having that conversation about being a weapon, and then when he punches the woman who comes at him with a bottle and he's explaining himself, and then obviously says, "Hey, I punch a woman who's coming up with a bottle."
That was one of the moments I
karate.
laughed out loud at when he punched the woman.
As I know you love that stuff.
Well, it's the like you said. There's the little callback to the. I think it was the scene just before, wasn't it? And then, of course, the ridiculousness of punching a woman. That was quite funny.
I loved in the how they worked in the script, or the screenplay. I don't know. Every interaction between any of the primary, so the main two characters, and any secondary characters is really entertaining. How he goes through every interaction isn't just a one-off. It comes back and loops back around for some other payoff down the line.
There's a bit of Edgar Wright about this, I think. Sort of the same sort of thing you're saying there. I think there is some. I was slightly disingenuous earlier when I'm saying I didn't find anything to like in this, because there are some production stuff that I think's pretty good. And like you say, there are some smart bits like that. The other bit I really laughed at was when he sits down to dinner.
Yeah.
And it's just after the scene where he's, lamenting having killed the kid and the rest of it.
Shoot priests and children.
Yeah, it's immediately after that, and he's just, I shoot people for money, like you, priests, children, the usual.
Yeah.
And it's a great, also very Death of Stalin. That I thought very Death of Stalin in its delivery, where we've gone from a really really sad moment to pow laugh.
But then it follows that up as well. Do I look like someone who does that? Do I look like someone who shoots people? No, just children. And you can just see the reaction is a little micro reaction of like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. Too close to the bone.
Yeah.
I appreciated that sort of flip from darkness to irreverence immediately. Really, really, really good. But I don't know. You're sort of talking in the script. There are some clever bits like that in its construction. Generally, the sort of tone of it, I just found a bit. The humour didn't land. The rest of it, not that the humour didn't land. The humour is very one-paced, and I sort of go, yeah, okay, we've done that now, thanks. And then the rest of it is just very, very sad. Some of the positive production stuff I've got though. I mean, Bruges looks fantastic.
Yeah, doesn't it? Looks pretty.
It really does. But there's also some great framing of shots. Like they're not just taking it for granted and going, we're in Bruges, it's good. They are making sure to put that in shots so that you feel it all the time. And there's a fantastic shot of when Ray and Ken are talking to each other. The camera's like on the floor in front of them, and it's looking up behind them. And behind them, you've got the tower in between them, and then you've got a statue in behind. And you could have done that shot anywhere because the scenery's not a thing. But it's like, no, we're going to put it in. We're going to frame it correctly, and it looks great as a result of it. So
yeah, and I don't know how much of it's them doing this through lighting or Bruges is just nicely lit with some of it. But like in some of the nighttime scenes, just the way that they've made it look with how they've lit it looks very appealing.
Yeah.
You can also, I don't know, you can see Ray's point as well. Like I could sympathise with him with the sightseeing part of it of just like, oh, another fucking old building, great, yeah, because obviously there's a lot of that. I definitely got that when touring around Italy a bit and go to multiple cities. We just go, another fucking church. Jeez, yes, it's very pretty, just like the last 10. Very nice.
I fall slightly in between Ray and Ken in my attitude to sightseeing, because I really get frustrated with people whose idea of sightseeing is just walking around, like with no plan.
You need a purpose.
And then just looking at stuff, right? Because often, in my experience, what that entails is seeing a building, pointing at it, and then moving on, and often not going into the building.
Yeah.
So, I've walked past the Pablo Picasso Museum in Malaga more times than I care to remember, when really I should have been in
really
by
inside,
now.
Yeah.
I should have got, we're in Malaga, the Pablo Picasso Museum is right there.
Probably more interesting from the inside as well.
Yeah, do you know what sightseeing actually is about? Fucking going in
Seeing
and learning.
the sights.
So obviously Ray's exasperated at just being dragged around, but then Ken also has done a bit of reading and he's got some facts and he's talking about it. So he's trying to get more out of it than just looking at stuff.
I'd quite like to just be guided round places as well and just be
walking tours are
taken
good.
to exactly. So you give me the interesting information without me having to find it out and read
it. Yeah. Walking tours are good.
Have you got a favourite city that you've been to that's good for sightseeing?
I mean, there is an answer that I'll give that you go, yeah, of course you'll say that. You've already ribbed me about this morning.
Is it in Cuba?
It is Havana, yeah. I think it will have to be Havana. It's fairly unique place, yeah.
Oh, very nice. So there's a couple. So Barcelona, big fan of Barcelona.
Never been.
That surprises me. You like Spain? It's got everything.
Just all of Spain.
Fuck off. Barcelona is a great city, and it's got a beach.
Completely believable.
City with a beach.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then Paris, I'm actually a big fan of. It's just a better version of London from my perspective.
Oh, I don't like London, but I've only been to Paris once, but I did like Paris.
And then Venice, just because it's kind of unusual. In its,
I can see that. Yeah.
Not fucking Hamburg, though. That place is a shithole.
I've been to Hamburg.
Shite. Did you go there for a gig?
It depends what you're going for, really. Because...
Hookers?
Can I tell that story? No, I probably won't tell that story in the podcast.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell my story either.
It depends what you're going for. I will say this, the gay bars, very disappointing.
Didn't get hit on.
very, very disappointed. I was expecting something like out of The Simpsons. Big letdown. Big letdown. Didn't get hit on once.
Shite.
Yeah, it depends what you're going for, though, right? Because it's a bit of a university town. So in terms of like getting the vibe of like nightlife and people going out and all the rest of it, and that's all there. There's a bit of the maritime stuff. Went around the Maritime Museum, that was quite good. Went around the dry dock submarine, that was pretty cool as well. Yeah, no,
Didn't do any of that.
no. Well, yeah, I wonder what's gone wrong here. What did you do? Just walk around and point at stuff.
Just walked around and drank.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was quite a good city for doing that.
What there's a famous area, isn't there, for
The Reaper
like,
Barn.
nightlife? Yes.
Yeah.
Was disappointed with that.
Yeah,
was
it's a bit of a seedy place. That.
horrible.
Yeah.
Didn't like. Anyway, you got anything else production wise?
My very particular Edgar Wright note was on the cocaine scene
Yeah,
when
in the bar.
they're getting the little guy not drunk. Well, they're going to get him off his tits on cocaine, aren't they?
Yep.
And raise their wide eyes, going, "Would you like some cocaine?" And then in the background, with wide eyes, comes Ken, just sidling in the background,
It stands over
and
him.
that was quite funny, and I thought that was very, very Hot Fuzz-esque, the way he just sidled into shot there. And then, other good shot that I thought looked fantastic, and you've sort of already touched on this, on lighting, maybe this is one of the things you were going for as well, but the shot in the evening in the square with the cunt kids bit was a really good looking shot.
Does make me laugh that.
Yeah.
And
They attracted it, didn't they?
yeah, exactly.
They attracted the
And
bit
they
like
did
you fucking
carry
cunt
some
kids.
kind of yeah. Starts with the voiceover. This movie. You know how much I love a voiceover. It's only very brief. Just literally sets the scene, and it's got some humour in it, so I'll let it off.
You started off, when we first mentioned voiceovers, you started off by as if you were undecided about voiceovers.
Yep.
You know, what do you think to a voiceover? As if there was a case for and against, but you have consistently fallen down against, haven't you? And I think what you really meant to say was, when we go all the way back there, I fucking hate voiceovers.
See, I like to lead in with a question, a leading question
Yeah.
that gets you to say something, so I can then actively disagree with it or agree with it. Either way, and sometimes I haven't even decided which way I'm going to go when I've asked the question. But it was funny because it was the Colin Farrell character, sort of going like, "Yeah, get to Bruges." Didn't even know where Bruges is. Pause. It's in Belgium. It was very funny. Not obviously the way I told it. And it's
There's a joke in there about my missus in Marks and Spencer's there.
yes, indeed. This film also has one of my favourite and most used GIFs. Mm-hmm. The shrugging.
Yep.
After
Yep, very memeable.
Excellent.
I sent you that not that long ago.
You did. But yeah, have you got anything else production-wise?
Just to call out the budget,
Oh yeah, what is the budget?
it's 15 million. So very,
less than The
very
Thing.
low, very lean. And yeah, if you're going to put out a film that sort of looks this good, fair play to you, you know.
Yeah, I think they only shot it in like 3 weeks as well, which is pretty cool. All right, let's move on to the plot. And I would say, Carl, this is not a complicated plot, which I know you like. You like a simple plot, don't you? But there's enough going on, right? There's enough going on to keep you interested. There's it's good journey that the characters go on physically and a little bit emotionally.
I think this perhaps seems the best time to talk about this.
What, in plot?
Yeah.
The plot.
What do you
Usually.
think? What do you like about this film?
What do I like about it? I mean, I said in
Besides
my
the fact
summary.
that you think it's funny,
I think I said in my...
which I think is a really weak.
It's a fucking
reason-
dark comedy. It's literally half of its name.
I think it's a really weak reason to think this is great. Now, don't get me wrong. I did laugh at some bits, and I can see how someone would appreciate. Oh, that's quite funny, isn't it? I absolutely don't buy.
Yeah.
It's really funny, but just put that aside for a minute. What else do you like about this film?
It's actually the balance that it strikes and its ability to be many things, not just funny, that I liked.
Right.
In this, I've completely lost my place in the notes. So just give me 1 second. So one of the things is that I think it's very cleverly written in terms of, as I've already said, how it pulls things in. Everything kind of has a payoff later down the line, so it's not just a series of crazy experiences that they're having. Each one kind of builds to something that pays off at the end, and I think that's quite rare in a film that is actually funny as well.
But what are you talking about there? Like callbacks to jokes or what?
So the fact that there are things that happen. So when he gets the mugging and he shoots the guy in the eye with the blanks, and it comes round, and then that character is used later and then comes back and is responsible for essentially dobbing him into Harry. So it serves a purpose. It's not just a one-off thing that goes. They've thought like, okay, how does this character? They've introduced him. It actually has something to do. The fact of the dead killing a child thing, which obviously they showed that it happened, and then Harry saying how, you know, if I killed a child, I would blow my fucking brains out there on the spot. And then they've introduced this dwarf character, not just for funnies, right? There's a payoff at the end where he's dressed as a schoolchild in the dream sequence, has his head blown off, can't tell that it's a dwarf adult actor. Looks like a child. He goes, you know, you've got to stick to your principles. Blows his head off, which acts as a kind of a redemption thing for what's his face, Ray, as he even tries to stop him and warn him that it's not a child as he's going through there. So they're the sort of things that I'm talking about.
So what you're admiring those from? I know you think it's funny. You're admiring it from a structure point of view. On top of that,
structure, and that there's a link to, there's a purpose to it. It's not just set piece
Right.
in terms of, hey, this would be funny. Get a dwarf off his tits on coke. Like it leads to something. He's there for a reason.
What's the film actually about for you? If you're going to talk about story,
so right, and this is where we've talked about what makes a really good or great movie, that it needs to work on multiple levels, right? And I think this can work on multiple levels, both from it just being straight out funny. There are people who watch this, and I think the first time I watched it, it is a straight up. I just found it funny and entertaining as I went through. There is a little bit more going on as well. There's, in terms of how it's written and structured, we've got when they're in the art gallery talking about heaven, hell, and purgatory, and the fact that Ray is he's in hell. Bruges is his idea of hell. Ken is his idea of heaven. But really, they're in purgatory because they are at the point where they're just waiting to see what's going to happen and how he's going to pay for his sins of killing the child, or how they're both going to pay for their sins of being contract killers and stuff. So you can read it from that angle as well, if you like. I don't think you have to, but I think that's there to be able to do it.
Did you read it from that angle?
Not first viewing, but definitely got it in the subsequent viewing. And they spell it out quite clearly. It's not like a hidden allegory here. Like even the end sequence where they're all dressed up in weird ass costumes to make it seem like essentially the same as that painting that they saw there, and that's almost really spelling out the fact that this is the sort of judgment that's happening at that time. So yeah, there are a couple of things that I think it has a little bit more to it.
So let me. I think you've got. I'm going to bucket your stuff into 3 points, and you tell me if this is fair.
You're going to organise my thoughts. Thank fuck.
Yeah, you tell me if this is fair or not. You think it's really funny, and you think that's funny enough to watch and enjoy just on that level.
I'd say so.
And also, and I definitely agree with this, large swathes of people see it as nothing more than that. I think it. I'm not going to go as far as to say it fails there, because I did laugh at some bits. I think it gets nothing beyond meh for that. All right, so I'll set aside my sort of I'm irked at the hype that it gets for that, because that's not the film's fault. And I'll judge what it's putting on screen. Yeah, I laughed at some bits, but there's not enough of it. It becomes a bit one pace, and actually a lot of the jokes are the, let's say, cleverer bits when it has set itself up to do that bit of a rug pull or flip from darkness to irreverence like that, rather than just the we're in fucking Bruges or we're this or that, you know, the sort of over the top sweary quirky. They're filming midgets, all this sort of stuff, right? I'm not. I don't think he does a good job on there. You're admiring it from a technical standpoint.
Yeah.
And actually, I agree with you on that. I think production-wise, there's a lot of good stuff there.
It's well shot. It's well
It's
acted.
well shot. It is well structured, and you
Yep.
get the callbacks, and the characters have got purpose, and all the rest of it. So I agree with that. I think you're underselling the third point. I don't think you can read it like that. I think if you read anything that Martin McDonagh's got to say about it, it's entirely about the third bit, that allegory, and that is the thing that's given the film its meaning. And I have a confession to make, Simon, because even though everything up to this point that I've said is what I think, around the time Ken died,
Yeah.
I went, oh, I've got this so wrong.
So when he threw himself.
So you get a little wobble before that.
Yeah.
You get, like, obviously the remorse from Ray and all of this sort of thing building up, and he's going to kill himself, and then he doesn't, and all the rest of it. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's okay. You get a little... When Ken kills himself, I was just like, oh, I get it. And I think it's fantastic.
Wow.
And I watched it, I was like, right. And then I've gone away, I've done my reading, and it's been sitting with me all day, and I'm just like, this is just a great film.
Wow.
And I totally stand by. I think it's been completely mischaracterised. And the irony is, we're still disagreeing because you're still going, oh, I think it's really funny.
Well, I think it is. Yeah,
I think it's been completely mischaracterised because it's got this cult following as this sort of quirky, over-the-top, almost like gangster sort of comedy type thing, right? Because they're going around killing each other and they're swearing at each other and all the rest. It's got this. And they're completely missing the real weight of this film, which just, honestly, I think it's fantastic.
Wow.
Because it's a really, it becomes...
You slow playing this all the way along.
Well, the thing is, I could have said this at the start. Right?
It would have ruined it.
But it would have broken the thing. But like, genuinely, I was watching it, I was just like, no. I called this right the first time. And like I say, I still think all the things I've said to this point, but when you get to that point and you go, oh, that's what it's about, it's really, really well done. It really, really hits hard. You know, it's just really good. So fucking do something with that.
Well, I think you're wrong. Shit. Yeah. I don't really need to go for that.
I basically went from being very, very cold about it to suddenly understanding what it's actually about. And like I say, Martin Minogue's pretty clear on, oh yeah, it's definitely about these things, you know. And it becomes really, really touching. You've got three very distinct arcs, right? Because Ray's is the most obvious. Ray he's sort of the most innocent anyway, Ray. He's uncouth, but he's not really bad.
And in fact, it's revealed that it was his first job as well that went wrong, right? So he's not got a whole history of
he's just this uncouth kid that's fallen into, he's made some bad choices, it's gone wrong, and he is really, really deeply affected by that, and he is willing to pay the ultimate price for that, no question. He's going to kill himself. And he goes on that journey whilst he's stuck in that purgatory. He goes on that journey, and there's a great bit where he gets out of purgatory and he's dragged back because he's not finished his arc yet.
Yeah.
He doesn't get to leave purgatory because he hasn't fully atoned for his sins yet.
Brilliant.
Yeah, back to Bruges. And then ultimately he does, and he comes through the other side, and he goes, I want to live and see the value of it. I'm going to do that. I'll serve my time, whatever. He's got the simplest type. It's really, really well done. Ken's is more subtle than that, because actually we don't learn till later that he is essentially trapped in that way of life because of a favour Harry did for him with his wife. And he's got to the point where he's just realised this is never getting any better.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to, we're carrying on, perpetuating all these bad things.
And he says that pretty directly in his conversation with Harry at the top of the bell tower, right?
Yeah.
Harry's there going expecting a duel.
Yeah. And he's just like, well, fuck it. I'm done with it. I'll do one last good thing on the way out, killing himself to alert Ray. I think the implication is otherwise Harry would be able to sneak up on Ray and Ray not see him come in. But instead, he's like, well, I'll chuck myself off and alert him, and that can be my sort of redemption.
And I think even in that, because he's going to die anyway, right? As well.
Yeah.
But I think even doing that, so it's not a completely like it's not like an act where he's just like, I'm literally giving up my life now for him. He's tried to protect him throughout that last bit, and he's really straining for his last act to be something that is of value. And to protect him. Yeah.
And then Harry's got an arc as well, because Harry's a cunt, and he's always been a cunt, and he's probably just going to become more of a cunt and have some more cunt kids. And he adopts this position of moral superiority, going, I just killed myself. Principled. Yeah, that's why I'm better than you, sort of thing. And you sort of get the sense when he does accidentally kill the kid, as he thinks, there's a look on his face which is like, oh shit!
Fuck! Now I've got to.
Yeah, I don't really. And it's ego that makes him pull the trigger.
Yeah. Well, I've said it.
Yeah, it's self-serving that. It's entirely consistent with his character. So you've got those 3 arcs which vary in subtlety, and they're all really, really well done. I just thought it was really great.
God, imagine if you actually found it funny as well. You'd be fucking 5-starring it.
Well, and I'll come on to that in changes, but that is my. In many ways, my position on what frustrates me about this hasn't changed. I'm now not frustrated when people think it's really funny. I'm now frustrated with them for going, well, it's not even about that, you dickheads. And the person who made the film is telling you it's not, but you wouldn't know. You're not reading any of that. You just like it because Colin Farrell says cunt and fuck a lot, don't you, eh?
But I think that's fine. I do think that's fine, though, because I think
it is fine.
I think that is, as we've said, like, being able to appreciate films at different levels.
It is fine. The thing that
turns it into art house bullshit is when you can't enjoy a movie unless you really deeply understand the underlying message that has been said, which then. But
the thing that's not fine about that is when somebody goes, and we've talked about this in Star Wars fandom. There's, you see it in other films as well. When somebody goes, "Oh, I didn't like that," it's you didn't like that. You didn't think it was funny, as if then you've done something wrong. It's like, whoa, hang on a minute. Like, I thought it was fine. You like, but so that's where it's not fine. It's not that they're appreciating it at a different level. It's the sort of the snippiness that then goes with, oh, you didn't think it was. Oh, you don't.
No, it's funny you've done a fairly big switcheroo on your second viewing, because mine definitely went up on repeat viewing, because I watched it twice this year. And when I first watched it before, I as I say, generally was just I found it really funny first time, so I'll watch it again because I like it. It was good.
Yeah.
And I watched it again, and I was like, oh, I think I might really like it. And I rewatched it this time with some more reading around it as well, to really
see. This is only my second viewing too, and I know what will have happened the first time round. I'll have checked out.
Yeah.
I'll have watched it. I'll gone, it's not really for me. I'll have checked out by the time the gravity of the film really starts to come to the fore. I won't have got it because it's not for me. This time, obviously, I've been forced into paying closer attention, and it's really paid off. So yeah, no, great stuff.
Good. Couple of things. So in my research and watching, there's a lot of deleted scenes in this.
Oh yeah,
a lot of deleted scenes, more than the average. And God, they really all were deleted correctly. There's a whole flash. I haven't even finished watching them all because there were so many. There's one where they have like a flashback to a young Harry. No, not young Harry. Wrong Harry. Young Harry, who he turns up at the pub, sees someone that's been murdered, and he marches into a police station and decapitates a policeman. And it's done awfully. It's like the decapitation itself looks terrible.
Yeah, you never know though whether those deleted scenes are getting the beans in terms of
the
true. Full edit in. And
but I don't see how that would have fit into the film.
No,
you don't need to know what Harry he literally explains what Harry has done for him personally. What Ken says,
and it's nicer as a subtle.
Yeah. We only have one flashback, and that is just a flashback to not very long ago for the hit itself, which I think is powerful enough as well, and revealed a lot earlier than I remembered from the first viewing. I took that as quite a big sort of reveal towards the end, but it's actually quite early in the film that we find out what actually went wrong with it, and then you start to see the real movement from just plain crazy, moody gobshite into really quite a broken man and ready to end it all. What did you think to the right at the ending where they essentially ended it with him with Ray shot to bits and in an ambulance and going off? So don't know. He says like at that point I really didn't want to die.
Yeah,
but you don't know whether he did.
No,
or not.
I don't think it matters too much either way. I did read some stuff that said, well, he actually needs to survive if he's going to get his redemption, if he's going to see his arc through, because he needs to go do the apology thing and serve whatever penance, yada yada yada.
But they didn't do that.
They didn't, but I don't think it.
I think that's to its credit, though.
I don't think it matters because
another ending of this movie could have been hospital, getting out of hospital, going to see the family of the child that he killed, and doing all that shit, couldn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think it matters because if he dies, you go, well, he's paid that price instead, anyway. Yeah, so I didn't mind it. It was fine. Just
so in the original screenplay showed that he survived.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Good choice
from a narrative arc.
But good choice just to
leave it there.
You don't need it.
Well, you also get the final note of the film in terms of tone being him on his deathbed, which hits very different to we've seen him. It's just you don't want something light to end on because it's not a light subject matter. Yeah, it's good.
Cool. Quick note on reviews, Carl. You're a big fan of people justifying their opinions for the 5 stars.
Yes.
What about this one for you? So I found this on Letterboxd. I thought you'd appreciate it, right?
Yeah.
A film that fills me with such comfort, pride, and joy, but always leaves me with such sorrow, dread, and anguish. I could go on endlessly talking about how much I adore this and how much it means to me.
Yeah. Any danger? Yeah. That's the end of it, isn't it? Yeah.
I could go on forever.
Yeah. It fills you with all that. Yeah, but why? I could. Yes, you could. Yes. No, it's frustrating. This is what I was unfairly ragging my friend on immediately, like literally 10 seconds after the credits roll. Going, yeah, but why? That's a platitude. It doesn't mean anything. Tell me why.
I did also read one review which made me laugh. It was just like, there is literally no police presence in Bruges. I was like, you're fucking right.
It's like a fairy tale.
There is literally no one.
It's like a fairy tale, mate. Fairy tale time. Yeah.
All right, so we move on to any changes. So up to 3 changes that we want to make. Carl, how many changes do you have?
I've just moved away from that bit in my notes. I think 2.
Oh, I've only got 1, so you can lead off. I think it might be similar to one of yours. So possibly.
I really want a believable Harry. I don't buy fines at all as the gangster. So I think they just need to change the casting on that.
Okay. So my one was there are and you've kind of, I think you've kind of alluded to this. I think you said it in a different way, but I don't know if this is similar. That there are moments with the dialogue where I think they overdo the unnecessarily racist stuff that's comes across as just trying to be shocking.
Yeah, they're ramping the edge up, aren't they? They're being purposely edgy.
Without actually adding anything to the understanding of who the character is and what they're doing and who they are.
Some of it works, but it wears out.
Yeah, and I think there's just some of it where I think the one line that just seemed like unnecessary. It's going to sound snowflakey, but
they've gone woke.
the where he was saying like, I'm going to strike a balance of culture and fun, and he's like, yeah, I think it's going to be quite balanced towards culture, just like a fat black woman on one side and a dwarf on the other. You're just like, why do you have to be black? Like, why are you calling this out? Why is this like a... Don't really get the... Because it sounded funny
it
and shocking?
just sounds outlandish. Yeah, that's the thing.
And there was a couple of lines like that where you're just like, oh, we get it. Like he's a gobshite that says shocking things and things like we've demonstrated this already.
Yeah. No. My second one is very much along those lines. I would definitely ramp back some of the jokes because I did find some bits funny, and they work well. A lot of it was overkill and annoyed me, which is obviously what's I've not got along with first time round, and I still don't get along with until I fucking realised what the film was about. But it doesn't need it, you know. This film to me is sort of 10% funny and 90% dark, and it's great for it. I think it's trying to ramp that up. I think it's trying to be like 40% funny. We're going to have this first half be a bit of a riot. It doesn't need it. I would wind it in a bit. And, you know, you never know until it's on screen. But you might find that the payoff is even more then for those moments of levity. So, yes, it's similar. Just reel it in a bit because I don't think this is a gangster comedy at all. I think this is a really thoughtful film with some funny moments. So, yeah, that's what I would do.
Alrighty. All right. We finish things off. No, we don't. This is why you're wrong, the penultimate section, as I always get wrong. So this is our closing statement from each of us.
I think you'd better go first.
Okay, so for me, it goes from laugh out loud to heart-wrenching in a couple of lines of dialogue, and it does that at multiple times within the film without warning. It has themes of guilt, friendship, honour, principles, but it's also genuinely funny. It's cleverly scripted, it's well shot, it's well acted, and for me, infinitely rewatchable due to the different levels that you can appreciate it at. So I said at the start, on initial watch, I think I liked it. It only went up the more I've watched it, and I've watched it twice this year. And yeah, infinitely rewatchable for me. Carl.
Yeah, so obviously I don't disagree with a lot of that. I still am not fully on board with the idea. It's really, really funny in the beginning bit. There are undoubtedly some funny bits. There are also a lot of bits, I think, wear the joke out, and that gets in the way. But I did also realise watching this, I've underrated Banshees of Inisherin.
Oh, same reason.
Same reason, because I looked at that and thought, this is a very cold film that has some moments that are funny, and I couldn't see anything beyond that. I could see me rewatching that, because that's another one that's fantastically shot and all the rest of it. I'd probably rewatch that and go, oh, yes, it's about something more than just those two dicking around, isn't it?
You have to line up 7 psychopaths after.
Yeah, maybe. But, like, genuinely, though, like, so much of the marketing campaign, the marketing trail, the hype leading up to Banshees and Inisherin was around those two and those two dicking around. And that is doing this film such a disservice.
But I think it's smart. Because, as you've just said, there's a large...
I don't doubt you'll get people in. Yeah, fair enough. Is it an effective marketing strategy? Yeah, probably. Yeah. But does it criminally undersell how good the actual film is? I think so. Obviously, that's not what they're going for. They need the money through the door,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
But no, so I've probably really underrated that as well. And yeah, you know, what else is there to say? It's really good.
So, Carl, has your needle moved? Because just you changing your opinion so much has really got my needle moving.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you enjoyed that. Yes.
So you don't like?
I always don't like.
Where are we going?
I mean, I think it's really like.
Oh! Oh!
Yeah, I think we've got to. I think we've got to go the whole way.
Crikey O'Reilly. It's the first and probably only time it's ever going to happen. Let's face it. If we do this for another 20 years, I don't think this will ever happen.
Yeah, I think it's a really like.
Excellent. I had nothing to do with it. Awesome.
You didn't have anything to do with it, but you weren't as shit as I expected you to be. Because I thought you were going to continue to miss all the allegorical stuff about purgatory and all the rest of it, and you were going to lean 100% into the funny
I'm a changed
bit.
man.
And I thought, we're going to end up agreeing on the film and disagreeing with why it's good. So you might not have had a great deal to do with it, but we definitely largely agree on why this is a good film.
Excellent. Okay, now we close things out with our data section. So, as always, we start with our ratings. So, IMDb 7.9, and Carl will say criminally underrated. Letterboxd 4.1, get in there. Metascore 67.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So maybe the critics missed it as well. Carl, what will you be rating this on? What did you initially rate it?
I haven't rated it in the Letterboxd era. I mean, I can tell you that I'd have been going in at 2, 1.5. You know, looks good, but the rest of it is it's not that funny, lads. There's not a lot going on here. Obviously, that version of me is an idiot.
Now, come on. Most versions of you are idiots. Come on.
Say again.
Most versions of you are idiots.
Yes. I honestly don't know. It'll be 4 or 4.5, and I don't know quite where I'm gonna.
It's a 4.5 for me. I think I might have given it a 5, but I didn't want to have to write the 200 words justifying myself.
Yeah, and you know there might not be a rule in place, but I'd be bringing that up if you hadn't. So no, I mean it's not a 5-star because I have some beef with it.
Yeah, there's a couple of issues,
but it is really really good. I'll be hitting the like.
I'll be
hitting the like,
Hit
no
that
question.
heart.
Yeah, hitting that like heart.
All right. In terms of nominations, I was nominated for 1 Oscar original screenplay. Lost out to Milk.
Yeah, okay.
Which is decent, but
yeah,
I don't know.
I watched that on a plane.
Yeah, me too. Not the same plane. We've been over this.
I think
we've covered this ground. Yeah. We thought it might have been the same plane. It was not. But yeah, I think this is better. But hey ho, 1 Oscar nom. Rewatchability, Carl.
Yeah, very yes.
Very yes for me
yes.
too.
Yeah,
very yes. Best scene. Now, this is going to be interesting.
The best scene for me is Ken's death. I think that's really where the film starts to bring home the depth of and the gravity, the meat of the film, the heft,
literally and figuratively.
Quite.
So there's a few scenes right that I liked, and I'll go down because you've gone for the deeper meaningful. I'll pick out the funnier ones. So the overweight Americans going up there, just to the hey, leave it, Faye, as he's being chased, and then the later payoff of that. The scene on the phone with Harry I really liked, where at first Ken lies that Ray is in the room because he thinks he should be in the room, right, and then he has to pretend to then send him out of the room and then check in the corridor, and just how Brendan Gleeson is just playing, okay, slam the door, right, yeah, going through it. And then the whole conversation about it being like a fairy tale, and him just essentially like eye-rolling his way through it. I love that part of it, and a good introduction to the Harry character. The alcoves little thing, found that pretty funny. And then the initial outside bar scene with Ken and Harry, I really enjoyed from the dialogue exchange there with the cunt fucking kids. Yeah. So yeah, enjoyed those. I think I'll go for the cunt fucking kids part, just because it makes me laugh whenever someone says like take it back, and then he's still going, I fucking took it back. What do you want to do?
I took it back. You couldn't fucking kids.
I retracted it.
Yeah.
So yeah, best quote.
What's it? I mean, on that, are you going to go for, with the greatest respect, you're a cunt. You've always been a cunt.
You'll
go on being a cunt.
Yeah, that's definitely on the list.
No, my best quote is, "I shoot people for money." I'm paraphrasing here. Priests, children, the usual. I thought that was really well delivered and probably my funniest moment in the film as well.
So there's a couple of Harry lines that I picked out in particular. So the one you didn't like, which is like, "You're an inanimate fucking object,"
Stupid.
and then they're sort of going back and just apologising as well for it. Oh, sorry, I was wound up. The cunt fucking kids we've already covered. And then when Harry says to the guy that's been blinded by a blank, he's like, "Well, to be honest, it sounds like it's all your fucking fault." So I like that. And then he's suicidal, I'm suicidal, you're suicidal, everybody's fucking suicidal. We don't all keep going on about it, which I quite like as well. But I like that you're an inanimate fucking object just because you rolled your eye so much at it. So I'm going to keep it in there just so I get that on the bracket episode.
It's all very weak stuff, mate. It's all very weak stuff. All right, what's next?
Favourite character?
The Wicked Witch of the West. Because I've ripped my Wizard of Oz notes off. And given that I only really appraise 3 characters, and we have a rule about not going for the main characters, which rules 2 of the 3 out.
You can't go Harry.
And I fucking had a real beef with Harry. I haven't got one.
See, I quite enjoyed Harry. I didn't get that. I quite liked seeing Ralph Fiennes doing the different turn. I enjoyed the level that he upped the stakes and the tension towards the end as well. So I'm picking Harry. Tearjerker, did you cry, Carl?
No.
Mine's a meh. Because
I've gone for meh as well.
I reckon another day I could, for sure, when he's the first reveal.
In the right mood. And,
100%.
Yeah, I've gone for meh. Yeah.
I definitely got a bit maudlin.
Fuck me, that was a loud one.
That was a loud one. What the fuck is that coming through? Jerker.
It's got to be a
very
now,
no.
hasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, there's hookers, but there's no skin. Yeah. Okay. Which leads us on to our top 3. And we've imaginatively gone for top 3 movies with a city in the title. Just to be clear, not city in the title, but a city of the world. Because there's quite a lot of movies with city in that you could have gone with, but not done that. All right, Carl. Number 3. Oh no, actually, any ones making your shortlist? But didn't quite make it?
I had Flight of the Phoenix, which we've mentioned before on here, the original, not the remake. Memphis Belle. But I sort of made my peace that they weren't going to make it. The one I'm struggling with is number 3.
Yeah.
Because I've got 2 that are in there. So number 3, which one of these am I going to cut? I think I'm going to cut Home Alone 2.
Oh, Lost in New York.
Lost in New York, on the basis
Didn't even think of that one.
It feels like a cheat.
Yeah.
Because everybody know that film's called Home Alone 2.
Yeah. Subtitle, isn't it?
Yeah. It feels like a cheat, which means my number 3 is Midnight in Paris.
No, I thought I might make an appearance.
It's a very charming film, that. It really is.
So number 3 for me is In Bruges.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Number 2. Oh wait, no shit. Sorry, a couple that missed out. So Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Really do like that film.
Not seen it.
Didn't quite make the cut. You should watch it. It's very good. And then The Trial of the Chicago 7. So fairly new. I say new. It's probably like 5 years old.
Yeah, not seen it.
It's well worth a watch. It's good stuff. But yeah, 3 is In Bruges. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is In Bruges.
Okay. My number 2 is same director, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which is a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5 film for me. Number 1, Carl.
My number 1 is LA Confidential.
See, it nearly made the list, but it suffers the same thing as I've not watched it in so long that I just didn't feel like I could do it.
Oh, I love that film.
I do really want to rewatch it.
Love that
Mine is your favourite film that you're going to love once you get on your heroin diet.
Manchester by the Sea.
So yeah, there we go. All right, Carl, have you got anything else?
Nope.
Okay, then that is all we've got. So if we moved the needle for you, or even if we didn't, please do rate us, follow, subscribe, wherever you are listening, and leave us a 5-star review. It really does, shoot a blank into the eye of the algorithm and mug them at gunpoint.
We'll
gets
at some
us
point.
out there to a more
The algorithm.
larger Belgian audience. Our Twitter and Instagram is, you might be able to tell, I forgot to change that, so just made up on the spot.
Yeah.
I mean, usually it's
I
shit.
mean, they're never good, mate.
Usually it's shit, but that was particularly shit. So our Twitter and Instagram is MTN Movie Pod. That's MTN Movie Pod. You can also find our page on Facebook. Details can be found in the show description, and our YouTube channel is Movie the Needle. And we're also getting our TikTok on at movie.the.needle. So for me and Carl, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.
I'm off to go see if our local lollipop man knows karate. If he comes at me with a bottle, that's a deadly weapon, and I will have to defend myself. Sorry, Bob.